So here is what you're going to need to make this little fairy house. You're going to need a big terracotta pot and 4 different size saucers. I went with the smallest and then the next smaller and then a medium and then not a large but another medium, a little bit bigger. They just go a little bit step above one another. I went ahead and sketched on where I wanted the windows and the door just to get a feel for my sizing, because what I'm going to do is use this cos clay. I have never used this before, and y'all, oh my gosh, I think this will be my sculpting clay from now on. I loved it. Not only is it easy to use and you don't get your fingerprints all over it and it doesn't end up stretching out more than what you want it to, like polymer clay can do. This sucker is great. And then when you actually bake it or whatever, it ends up being bendable without breaking. It is incredible. I love this stuff. Again, first time ever working with it. You saw I used my popsicle stick trick to get the thickness to be the same, and then cut out this little door, and I wanted it wonky. This is a fairy house, y'all. I'm using the baking glue or whatever it's called that you use to adhere things to each other as far as clay goes, and I'm using that to adhere the doorknob and the little hinges that I made for it. I used just a skewer, just a pointy little, could use a toothpick to create the little lines like it's, wooden door with the little swirls in it and everything. I think it turned out super cute. And again, bendable. Now I'm going to make, I wanted to put flower boxes in front of the windows. I thought that would be really cute. At first I was going to make the windows 3D, and I'm like, no, let me make little flower boxes, little window flower boxes. I think those would look so much cuter, and so that is what I decided to do. I just make sure that everything is well proportioned. Use that baking glue or clay adhesive, I don't remember what it's called, but y'all know what I'm talking about, to create the windows themselves. I measure to make sure that they are where I want them to be. I put another little piece in between those, as you can see, and now I'm just putting texture like it's going to have dirt in it. And now I'm making the flowers. Very easy, just making the stems. I'm going to make leaves and use the little method to make the flowers by rolling up the little balls, 5 little balls, and putting one in the middle and kind of gently, so very gently, pushing them down to flatten it out so it'll be easier to use. Now, this sounds easy, but you will see it is not. It's easy to make the little balls, right? Yeah, that's easy, but it's hard. It is so hard to get them in a circle. They fought me. I thought I was going to have to get in a ring with them and, knock them out because they were really getting on my nerves. That's why I started using a tool to try to get them, and then they flew apart. It was like they were almost magnets. It was just crazy. But I ended up getting it all worked out and situated where I made 6 little flowers, because each window box has 3 little flowers with them. And again, I think they turned super cute using that baking glue adhesive, clay adhesive, whatever it's called, to put it on there. Now I'm making the mushroom. No dirty jokes, no dirty thinking about these guys. Okay, it's a chimney that looks like a mushroom, okay? That is what this is. Get your mind out of the gutter. But it's so easy to make. I just used a big roll, and I ended up twisting it. I don't think I showed that part, but I ended up twisting the stem just to give it a little bit different look to it, And the mushroom cap itself was very easy to make. I just needed a little bit more cos clay to make it. I just wanted it to be a bigger top, and you just I use this big stylus or whatever you want to call this thing to make the holes so that it can be put together there. And that was the mushroom or the chimney. And now I'm using some of my little cutters, and I just rolled out a long thing for the vine. This is going to be vines that is going to go onto the house. And I do flip the leaves around in the end because I didn't like the way they looked this way. So I wanted the pointier ends up at the top, as you can see there. So this is all of it ready to go, ready to bake. I did bake it on this tile per the description on, or the directions on the thing. Now look, this is after it's been baked. Look how pliable. This blew my mind, y'all. You cannot do this with polymer clay. It would break. It's incredible. I love it. So now it's to the fun part. Well, that was fun too. The sculpting was fun. Now to this part, which is the painting. I used green, and then while it was wet, I went over it with a little bit of yellow on the door and on the leaves, just to make them look a little bit different than the stems of the vines, right? And the door, I wanted it to look a little bit different as well. I didn't want it just to be this green color. I wanted it to have some kind of dimensions in it. So that is what I do. Now the flowers, at first I paint like this pinky peach color, and then I try to go over it with dry brushing. That didn't work for me right there. And so I will end up coloring them red, white, and purple. You will see that in a little bit. The window boxes, I just did a little bit of brown with some antique mum. And all of this is outdoor paint that I'm using on this, by the way, y'all. Just so that it will be durable and will stay. Yeah, I try to go over with purple, and I just didn't like the way that looked. But now I'm making the window boxes. I did that brown with the antique mum first, and then I dry brushed it with a little bit more brown. Here I'm just painting, you know, green stems, and the flowers will be red, purple, and orange with a brown for the soil there. I am I'm dry brushing light green and yellow on the door because I wanted it, again, to have a little bit more dimension to it. And I will end up, because I wanted that little swirl to come out, but, you know, I'll work it out in a little bit. But I go ahead and paint the knob yellow and the hinges a brown color. You know, no biggie there. Just your roundabout thing. So there's the flowers. And then I put dots around it just to give it a little bit more oomph. And I think they turned out super cute. I actually love the way these vines turned out. They really made me happy. I really enjoyed them a lot. I will end up going over the door with a green where those little swirlies are to kind of make that pop. Here I am on the chimney just giving it some swirls. I'll give it some dots, and I'll give it some starburst with orange, yellow, and white. Now the white is regular paint white, but you know, it'll work. So in the middle of the flowers, I thought about this. I wanted it to have some sparkle, and I thought about putting gems, and then I was like, no, I'm going to use UV resin with this beautiful rainbow alcohol ink from Ranger, and I'm just going to put it in the middle of them and be very joyous about it. I will flash cure them with the black light. I also put it over the whole door as well, and the chimney. Now I flash cure these, and then I put them outside in the sunlight for about 20 minutes. Because even when using the black light on this UV resin, even though it's a very thin layer, for some reason it stays tacky and I hate it. But when I put it out in the sunlight, it works beautifully. So now I'm just painting the house itself. Yellow, purple, orange, and green are the roof of the house. And yes, the yellow took like 5 coats to do, but it's so worth it. The purple and green took 1. Now I'm doing the house, and I'm painting it red with brown for the windows, and it will be different colors of browns. I use like 3 different color browns for the windows just to give it some dimension. Now inside the window I will put yellow just so it looks like there's a light shining through the window, And I will then also use yellow and white together to put, you know, like a glow in the middle of the window and all that goodness. And I will also put the UV resin over that, but I will flash cure it, and for some reason it worked on the window. I don't know, don't ask, you know, it's whatever. But then I will end up gluing everything that I created with the Cosclay with E6000, and it worked perfectly, and you will see the end results outside. I got little fairy lights to put around it and all that goodness, and it is just so cute. It's a great welcome to my yard. There it is. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe if you've not subscribed. And I will talk to y'all later. Y'all be good to one another. All right, y'all. Have fun. Make this. It's fun.